Welcome to Get Your Mind Right, Boots on the Ground, where we spotlight professionals in the field who have overcome challenges and how they work through them. Their stories offer real-world insights and tips for thriving in today's competitive landscape.
Good morning and welcome to Get Your Mind Right. This is the world's only podcast devoted, Jerry Faith, to digital marketing specialists and merchant services professionals in the world. That is you. So back with me today is Jerry Faith. Welcome back, Jerry.
Thank you, John. I'm very glad to be here this morning.
Well, it's great to have you here. We're here for episode 2 of Garnering Referrals. Now, for you folks who missed episode 1, Jerry covered a lot. Why people don't ask for referrals, why they're awkward about it, why they often fail, and talked about tips how to get around that. Jerry, I want to spend just a couple minutes recapping that.
Sure.
Because I think it's really important.
Absolutely.
You use that word awkward X amount of times. That first episode is a lot. Talk to me about this awkwardness.
Well, for a salesperson, it's challenging enough for us to go out, make those cold call efforts, stumble through a sale if we don't have a very good process, close the deal. Nevertheless, try to go back and ask that merchant, do you know anybody? Well, that's
Buzzkill.
That's the typical failure right there, right? Worst case scenario, best case scenario, you might get a name and a number, which you could have already found yourself if you looked on your phone or your internet. So what we want to do is to polish that up, take it up a notch, so that it is embedded process in your scales, your sales skill set.
Right.
That every customer that I sign, my job is to teach them how to replace themselves. So now I've doubled my business.
And you use that word process a lot too.
Yes.
Awkward and process. I heard those two words over and over and over.
The process will help you not be so awkward.
There you go. And you can't have one without the other.
That is right. A system. We're going to create a system here.
Well, so for you folks that missed the first episode, again, I really encourage you to go back and check that out. But I heard Jerry originally talk on this subject a couple months ago, and then the whole notion of it was doubling your business and replacing your customer with a new prospect via that customer or that merchant. So on this, Jerry, one of the things you talked about was that the awkwardness a lot of times was caused by nerves, and the awkwardness caused even more nerves. So, let's face it, it is an ask, right? It is, and it's natural. You're going to feel a little anxiety, or your pulse rate's going to go up a little bit. And I think that's okay, and that's natural. But tell me how you I don't know in your case or what sort of advice you give on people either getting around it or using that to their benefit or just simply pushing through it.
Yeah, so let's look at the dynamics here. And I'll use my own experiences, and maybe yours is similar, okay? We talked about in the last one, the ask. Okay, I'm the salesperson, and I'm going to ask. Well, I'm likely asking things like, do you know anybody? Right.
No.
Right. Is there anybody that, like you, I could help? Can you refer me to someone? That's the worst.
Even worse.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's what we do out there because we don't know any better.
Yeah.
Other than okay, it's hard enough for me to walk back in that door, but I'm going to ask for this referral. Well, I haven't earned it, and I've not set any stage in place for that merchant to even be comfortable to give me the intel. Right. Mm-hmm. You think about if I go back to the pizza business or the automotive repair shop and I walk in, it's much like the cold call. Yeah, they do business with me. I'm interrupting their day. They're going to give me that same look like, what are you doing here? I'm busy. I've already bought something for you, So having a process when I close a sale and I set expectations and I include the ask and the why referrals are important to me and how I go about to get them. I've got a ground I can go back to with that merchant when I do walk in. Because it is like that cold call. They are going to give me the eyebrow. Yes. And I can just walk in and have a conversation. Hey, John, we talked about a while back that I did this and this and this for you.
Right.
Yeah. Everything good still? Perfect. Can I check on this for you while I'm here? No, perfect. Look, the reason I stopped by, if you recall, we talked about the day we did all of our paperwork, things I would do for you. And we talked about that at any given time, I might need your help too. Do you remember that?
Kind of.
Yeah, I know you're a busy guy. I get that. Well, we talked about that. There's 2 ways I grow my business. One is I go out and meet brand new people. I might see 50 people a day, and that's kind of hard work. And sometimes I run into slumps where I just don't have any sales, and that's how I make a living. It's how I feed my family. It's how I do, just like your business, right? I'm a lot like you. That's why I talked about, at any given time I might need your help. Does that ring a bell now?
Yeah, I do kind of remember
Perfect. Well, I'm having one of those weeks, right? Where it's just like, man, I'm having a hard time meeting people. They're all busy, it seems. I was hoping maybe you might know someone. But see, it's a proper time now to ask that question. You might know someone that could use my services.
Jerry, you have any tips for me how you could tee this up where it's a, that's like a broader ask what you had there, but where I could tee it up for my merchant where it's like a really narrow ask and I'm going to make it easy for them to say yes to me.
It's a good thing. I kind of would do, again, a little more of the giver's gain because I'm going to remind them why I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to give something back again to get.
Yep.
Likely going to refresh their memory.
Mm-hmm.
They're still probably a little uncomfortable. They still probably put up gates to block me because really I'm asking them to do some work.
Yeah.
And I'm asking them now to put their reputation on the line because I'm asking them to refer someone to me and they might have fear of. So if I make it personal, I'm tying it back to like, would you help me? We talked about you helping me. I really need your help. So I'm throwing out, will you rescue me? It's a lot of psychology here. A lot of salespeople are not comfortable in making themselves look vulnerable and needing someone else's help. But it's hard for that person to deny help.
It is. So let me ask this a different way. So I want to loop back to our first episode on this. And one of the things you talked about was earning the right? Mm-hmm. You were telling the merchant up front, you were signaling
we did our install on this date.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed at your business this amount of time to make sure it was running smoothly. I followed up with you like in this.
Went through your statement.
I came back 30 days later.
Yes.
We reviewed your statement. I showed you everything that we talked about. I delivered.
Mm-hmm.
You did validate with me. You are a happy customer. You're glad you chose to work with me. And then we talked about, I might need your help to help me grow my business. I helped you with yours.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. So, one of the things that amazes me with merchant services salespeople, I mean, what we do is like incredibly important for a business.
Incredibly.
A lot of times 80 or 90 plus % of that business's receipts go through that credit card machine, mm-hmm. right? And there's a lot of things, as you know, a lot simpler than just swiping or inserting your card. Right. A lot goes on behind the scenes. And it's amazing because we do really, really big stuff, really, really big, important stuff for our merchants. And we help them out tremendously, right? And these merchants, they've got friends who own businesses. They got family members who own businesses that never hear about us.
That merchant is awkward, right? It's the fear of, right? They don't want to expose themselves in case of, right? So that's where, again, I have to validate to earn that spot.
Yes.
But I had to previously ask ahead of time and got your permission that you're okay when I do ask in the future, right? Because again, I'm going to jar their memory.
Yeah.
We're going to break down some walls and gates. No different than we did the day we made the sale. Now, the effective person will take it a step further because I want you to replace yourself, right? They're going to give you a name and a number. That's okay. Some people run with that. I like better than that. Hey, John, I appreciate the fact you're going to introduce me to your cousin who owns a transmission shop. Mm-hmm. I know that place. I've seen it. You know what? Any given day, man, I kind of freeze up. I get shy talking to strangers. While I'm here, do you think we could try to call him?
Yeah.
And you introduce me to him? You okay with that? Now, that merchant still might have a wall because I've asked them to do something they may not be comfortable with, right? Not everybody is salesy like us. Mm-hmm. They may say, I don't want to do that. Not a problem. Do you mind to shoot him a text?
Yeah.
That you're going to introduce him to me, the guy who takes care of your store. That's hard for them not to do for you. It's a text, right? Either way, I'm one step closer when I do talk to the guy who owns a transmission shop on why he would take my call because I was referred a better way than what normally happens.
So I want to share this with you. This is not my invention. This was introduced to me. But what the guy did effectively is that it took a little bit of time. But if you're my merchant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to troll you on LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. So LinkedIn's got all sorts of sorting tools. Sure. And I can come down to like 20 people that are in your town that I'm interested in. And then the next thing I do is I troll your social media, right? I'm seeing if you have this person as a personal friend, right?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Pretty quick process. So the person who showed this to me was a she. She was asking for the referral, and her thing was really simple. You know, she had set up similar as yours. It was if I do this, and then I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna go through your statement. So everything was all said and done. She laid the list down, and there was like 12 merchants on it. She goes, "Hey, I'm trying to get into these businesses. You know anyone here?" And it's one of these guys. He was a big old boy, and he had his arms crossed. He's behind the desk, and he didn't pick the list up or anything. He just looked at it, and like a great big smile came across his face. I mean, he knew right then he'd been had. And he knew that she knew that he knew everyone on that list, right? And it was a thing of beauty, right? And I've seen this play out a few times, and it works the same way every time. It is never, let's say you put 12 names down, it's never the guy picks it up and gives you a name and number on everyone. What he's going to do is he's going to pick 1, 2, or 3, and sometimes when he writes, just say, "Hey, that's my cousin Bobby that owns ABC Welding. Just give him a call and tell him that I sent you and we're talking."
Right.
Man, I'm telling you what, that is a golden referral right there.
It is. And so let's incorporate that when we close the deal.
Yeah.
And set that expectation. Right. We're going to train that customer.
We're going to train them up. Yeah.
We expect
Let them know this is
coming.
We
expect that because why? I'm really good at what I do, John.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're working together. We talk about in a lot of our training here at Evolve University this week, there's a plug, that we talk about getting your mind right, which is fun to this show. And that's the conviction that a salesperson needs to have. And that conviction shows with the merchant, right? It is part of the bonding and rapport process. So incorporating something into my closing technique that doesn't exist today, that I know my competition doesn't do, really sets me aside.
It does. It does. So you mentioned early on this that you're basically a pretty shy person, right?
Can be, yes.
So how were you at junior high dances, getting your nerve up?
Well, wish I had my skill set I had today.
If you'd only known now.
Only known.
Well, Jerry, this has been great. So before we wrap up here, what's your last word on this? What's your parting shots to people that want to get a referral?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I encourage everyone, right, to put a process together on how they close their deals and how they set expectations for what's next. Get comfortable in including this into that process. The very end. Hey, John, there's 2 ways I grow my business. I grow it through going out and meeting brand new people, call it cold calling the hard way. And I work with really happy customers who are happy with what I've done for them, who are comfortable introducing me to other businesses.
Yeah, that's really it, Jerry. It's about really building and furthering that relationship.
It is.
One thing I will add on to this, guys, is that this is really, really important. Some people forget this vitally crucial element is always, 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 good, bad, or indifferent, go back to your referrer and tell them how the referral worked out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Always thank them profusely, even if it didn't work out. And now what you've done too is you're able to now hit them up for yet another referral. Okay. And if I laid a list down I showed them that their cousin Billy at the welding shop was a good experience, now I'm ready to ask for the next one. Okay. Because what you're doing is you're actually burnishing the referrer's reputation with your new client, right?
You are. And it's patience, right? Because everybody's trying to move forward and sell, but you also have to nurture your client base. It's retention. Yes. There's a lot of benefits from this. There's future opportunities because we also do digital media. And there might be a digital opportunity you have for that customer. There might be a digital opportunity for who they refer you to because they didn't realize you did that. But I set the groundwork ahead of time that I will be back.
And that's a great point, Jerry. And I want to add something else onto that too. I don't know why. We did talk about some of the reasons why this seems to be hard to get a business referral. But like when I look on Facebook, it's amazing to me how many of my friends are compelled to take a picture of their plate of food. I don't get it. It's lost on me, but I get it that other people want to do that and they want to share it. Now, on the other hand, I do get it when someone recommends a movie to me or a restaurant, right? What they're wanting to do is to share their fortune with me.
An experience.
Hey, yeah, that's right. I had a great experience, John. Here's what I want to share with you. And I think when folks, their mindset is that the business is the same way, you had a great experience with me. We've made you more profitable. We've made billing your customers easy. We've made collecting money easier and quicker for you. Got any friends you want to share this good news with?
Yeah.
We tee it up that way. It's very, very different.
It is. And it goes back to the core of the salesperson, right? I mean, there's some people who are just naturally good at sales. a lot of people, we have to build and learn, and we don't stop building and learning. So we have to have those process and systems and how we go about doing it.
Yeah.
We have to have our conviction, our mind right, and everything to do it. We have to have the diligence, right? We have the diligence to make the calls. We have to have the diligence to have the talk tracks. We got to have the diligence when we get the pen to paper. We've contracted to go a step further.
Yep.
We've got to have the discipline and diligence to go back and see that merchant, to not be afraid, to not duck and run.
Mm-hmm.
Be proud of your work and what you did, because you know what you did will help them. Therefore, it makes sense. You've earned that referral.
You've earned it. You've earned it. Well, Jerry, this has been great. Double your sales in 2025. You don't have to work harder. You just got to change your tactics a little bit.
That's right.
And make it happen.
Make it happen.
Jerry,
get your mind right.
Get your mind right. Jerry, I appreciate you being here. Hey, will you come back in the future for another show?
I would love to, John.
That'd be great. Well, for Jerry Faith, I'm John Johnson. Until next time, keep your mind right, babe.